Welcome to the Nürburgring in Germany, to the Nordschleife, one of the world's most legendary and probably the world's most feared racetrack, as we are ready for this afternoon's World Touring Car Championship action. Hello, wherever you're joining us. My name's Martin Haven. Down in the pit lane, Alex Le Gui and Ben Constanduris, and sitting alongside me in the booth, overlooking the start-finish line, is multiple British Touring Car champion Matt Neal. Well, this is a real new venture for the World Touring Car Championship. A 25-kilometre lap, a 3-lap race. Everything here very different indeed.
But whenever you go there, you have this amazing sort of dramatic, nervous, apprehensive, excitement sort of feel just pour through you. Adrenaline rush that you don't get anywhere else in the world.
It's very scary. You try to know what you can expect at the Nordschleife, but once you're on the track, it's a completely different story.
This is not a track. This is something else. It's totally unique.
You have to have a huge respect, work your way around it more and more, step up, step by step. But at some point you're going to have to go for it, so you have to be confident then.
I called it the Green Hell. It was me who christened it the Green Hell.
You learn left and right, up and down, but it's the bumps, it's that last bit of pushing that on a normal circuit would be the last 1 second. On a 8.5-minute lap, it's the last 30, 40 seconds that you're looking for.
I think it's brilliant that it's going to be a World Championship FIA event. You know, we're all racing drivers. We're out there to win races. And you ask any of those drivers, do you want to drive at the Nürburgring? They'd say, yeah, damn right I will. But if you won there, it means you're pretty damn great.
You fear it. You're very happy to be walking away from there, but you always want to go back.
It's absolutely sure. Still today, the Nürburgring is the hardest race course you can get. How fast, how much risk do you want to take?
You know, you may get 1 or 2 lives in Nürburgring, but you can't live life on the edge.
It draws you in every lap, it sucks you in, but you really feel like you're making part of history.
I realized why it's so special, why it's so famous.
If somebody said they enjoyed the Nürburgring, they weren't going fast enough.
Fine words from men who understand more than will most of us ever know about this magnificent racecourse. Started building it in 1925. The first races here were in 1927, and since then all but nothing has changed. Matt Neal, it is still fast, it is still dangerous, it is still perhaps the ultimate challenge of man and machine. Well, let's get down and hear from our pole man, Jose Maria Lopez.
What a fantastic sentence that is. Tell me what's running through your head.
Yeah, I just think in the start, try to do a good start, basically. I know it's very difficult to pass after in the Nordschleife, so I think the key will be the first 50 meters of the race. Then I need and I have to try to push as much as I can to arrive to the long straight, because there is a sentence here in Nordschleife that says who arrives there first won't exit to the main straight first. So it's a very long straight, and you need to pull out a little bit, try to at least. And if I can do that in the first lap, then I think it will be good. So you can plan a lot of things anyway, then maybe it can be the other way around. So we will see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pachito Lopez, our pole sitter, and the final section of the lap features a mile-long straight, and he's absolutely right. It will be a slipstreaming nightmare. If you're in front, it'll be horrible. If you're behind, it is a wide-open opportunity. Lopez starts on pole with his teammates lining up in line astern behind him. On the outside of the front row is Hugo Vallant in a Chevrolet. Behind him, Norbert Mikulits in a Honda. It's a cool and overcast day here at the Nordschleife. We started with rain and fog on Friday and Saturday morning, Thursday and Friday morning rather, and Saturday morning dawned bright and sunny, fog rolled in, and now the cloud has come over. Cool conditions. As long as it doesn't rain, I think everybody will be relatively happy. Matt Neal, this is a tough enough track at the best of the times. When it rains, as we saw from first free practice, the grip level goes down to less than 0 in places, so nobody particularly wants a wet race.
It does, and the normal buoyant, happy, smiling faces of the drivers have been replaced with sort of a nervous tension this morning, you know, with their anticipation of what's ahead.
Another fantastic qualifying from Hugo Vallant to start on the front row of the grid. Firstly, warm-up, Hugo. You didn't do any full laps. Everything okay with the car?
Yeah, everything's okay with the car. We knew the track was going to be a bit wet, as we saw, so we're just trying and focusing on our starts, because that's where we have to improve the most for the race. Yes, exactly. So you did a couple of practice starts. What are your chances going into this first corner? Surely that's the most critical moment. Yeah, for sure. I mean, once we get off the line, if I can hold my position, then I should be able to maybe fight for with Pachito over there. If I get some wheel spin, I'll try and defend my position like I did in Budapest. But the aim is definitely to keep our position and finish on the podium for the race. And if we can fight with Pachito, we'll try our best. Make us a show. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Well, Matt Neal, this young Frenchman continues to impress, doesn't he? Not just flashes of brilliance now. He's in the top 5 on pace at every race meeting. And front row starter now for the 2nd race in a row. He needs to unlock that first victory, though, to really allow the confidence to flow a little more, do you think? He is coming into his own. Now he's in these new TC1 chassis. So, but he's showing the potential in that Chevy Cruze. You know, they're all in privately funded, privately backed teams who are coming to the party, but with the might of RML behind them all. But he's showing at the pace that they could or can potentially take the fight to Citroën, and you know, that elusive first race win isn't far away from him. And RML continue to develop that car. There are more upgrades coming downstream as the season progresses, as soon as they can get them manufactured. 11th on the grid, Sabine Schmitz, her debut in the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Far from her debut here at the Nordschleife, though. She lives within earshot of the track and has spent her entire life racing around here. She's in a 2nd Munich All-Inkle Racing Chevrolet Cruze. Her car without the engine upgrade that the likes of Tom Coronel, Tom Chilton and Hugo Vallant have got in their cars. Gregor de Moustier has it in his as well. So it's only she and John Philippi who have the unupgraded engine. Stefano D'Aste starts in 10th place on the grid. And the Italian, not very experienced here, has raced here once before, I understand, but still produced a good lap this morning in the morning warm-up to show that he really feels quite confident now with the car and the track together. So he could be entertaining to watch. He's always entertaining to watch. He's always entertaining in or out the car. He gives us something to glare at. But yeah, he put in some real good time, considering the lack of experience he's got in the car at this circuit. You know, he missed the pre-event test a few weeks before, and you know, his Tom Chilton, he's been going well, but both the RAL cars of Chilton and Coronel sort of have been a little bit disappointing in qualifying, not showing the pace of Vallant. So, you know, hoping they can sort of push forward a little bit in the race. But again, the morning warm-up, both were quick, and I was talking to Tom a little bit earlier, and Tom Chilton was saying they have made a change to the car, and he said definitely a big step forward, big improvement on what they had under them yesterday. Saw Tom Coronel, who traditionally has the most aggressive rear wing angle, backing it right off this morning. So he's going for low drag based on the fact that he's going to need to get by people. Thiago Monteiro and Gabriele Tarquini, well, an awful lot of big cheeses from Honda here this weekend, from very, very senior management in Honda in Japan, from all sorts of departments. And, well, they're going to start at the front of the grid for race 2, but disappointing with their pace in qualifying. They'll start here in 8th and 7th places.
Yeah, I mean, the two Castrol Civics are two of the sexiest cars on the grid. What they've done with the new aero kits and everything, they are absolute works of art. But both Tarquini and Monteiro did struggle in qualifying. The cars looked evil at some points out the back, so they were really having to hang on to them. A lot of work being done overnight, so it'll be interesting. They're 8th and 10th on the grid, and they're going to have to push hard, really, to sort of stay in the top 10 and move onward from there.
In race 2, when he had nothing to lose in Hungary a fortnight ago, they made major changes to the rear of Gabriele's car, and he was quicker than all of the Citroens in terms of race lap pace. His fastest race laps faster than all the Citroens, and only race winner Norbert Michelis in the Zengo Motorsport Honda was actually quicker on track. And so the Zengo car of Norby and Tarquini's car, whatever they did there, they need to somehow find what it was, what effect it had as they learn this new upgraded aero package and all the changes they're making to the car. They need to get a handle on getting that performance out of it more consistently.
Well, we've said that before then, Martin. I mean, this place, excuse me, is one on its own. And, you know, it just shows you how quickly it can change. Real Motorsport in Hungary 2 weeks ago had their best finish, double podium for the team in how many years? And you've got Gabriele Tarquini there, fastest car in the race, the last race. Suddenly, it's all changed around again. It changes that fast.
Yeah, this track is very different in what it demands. It demands a different ride height, very more compliant suspension. Everything has to work a whole lot better here than on other tracks, because although the Grand Prix circuit is relatively smooth, the rest of it wouldn't say smooth. Jose Maria Lopez starts on pole from Hugo Vallant, and the Citroens lining up nose to tail. Loeb third, Norbert Michelis, that black and red Zengo Honda, in 4th position. Quinhua Ma in 5th behind the pole sitter, and Ivan Muller in 6th position in his Citroen, making it an all Citroen row 3, ahead of the Castrol Hondas on row 4. Tom Chilton, Stefano D'Asti in their Chevys, ahead of Sabine Schmitz and Mehdi Benani, and that's where you get into the guys who have got those engine change penalties, the 6 cars at the back of the grid. Tom Coronel, John Philippi, Gregoire de Moustier, Rob Huff. And Coronel, of course, having an engine upgrade, which is a new engine, so that's effectively an engine change. Jaap van Lagen had an engine change and failed to set a qualifying lap time, so he's doubly at the back of the grid. He won't start with any greater penalty, but around here they all feel that starting last is enough of a penalty, thank you very much. Looking now at the grandstand area, the pit building, the loop in front of you, that's the final corner of the Grand Prix circuit, but they won't use that here. They will turn sharp left and out into the country. Here's Ivan Muller in 6th position, and really finding it hard to match the outright pace of Jose Maria Lopez. And that's perhaps to be expected. You know, Ivan has won 4 World Touring Car Championships in half a dozen years. He's got nothing left to prove. He's got a new young baby, and, you know, Matt, none of us are getting any younger.
You say that, but I don't take it. I don't. Muller's been quite conspicuous by his low presence this weekend, and you know he's been keeping himself to himself, trying to stay focused. He got caught out in qualifying. His last run was Quinhua Ma, I think it was, or it was off.
Yeah.
And so there were yellow flags. He couldn't set the final last lap, but he was very quick in initial testing, but. We're yet to see the pace. We're disappointed by his grid position, but I think there's still plenty of fight left in Ivan Muller.
Yeah, I agree. He's best when he's cornered, isn't he? And the Ma thing is very relevant, actually, because Ma went off just as they turn onto the Grand Prix loop, or off the Grand Prix loop, rather, onto the Nordschleife, the North Loop, as it's called. And that meant that there was a yellow flag there. and you only get 3 laps. There's only enough fuel in the car for 4 maximum if you really, really eke it out. And so there was only 3 qualifying laps, and that meant that his last and best qualifying effort, when there was least fuel on board, he couldn't actually improve. So he had to park it, and that's, yeah, definitely he had the opportunity to go faster had Ma not crashed. Well, Norbert Michelis certainly seized the opportunity with both hands, and he made sure that he wasn't waiting for somebody else's disaster. He was the first guy to go out and really go after the times right at the beginning, figuring that sooner or later on the Nordschleife something was going to go wrong and there were going to be yellow flags, so might as well get a lap in as soon as you can. The travelling army are here. Not a very strong battalion, you've got to say, of Norby fans compared to what we'll see in some of the Eastern European races. Well, the Citroën Racing team are fully wrapped up warm. You can see there, a lot of them are wearing the rally jackets with the furry hoods. Full Monte Carlo rally spec, it is that cold. And the clouds overhead. We've had rain already this weekend. Like Spa, Nürburgring is in a very foresty, mountainous region. In fact, it's the same volcanic range that becomes the Belgian Ardennes, which is the Eiffel Mountains here. So the weather can not only change, Matt, but it can be different at many different points on the track.
That's right. We were talking to one of the locals on Thursday, and he was telling us that there are 7 different weather systems yeah. which the track is enclosed in. So you can go from dry to rain to drizzle to mist to rain to dry, back to dry again, all in one lap. And for a driver or a team, when you're trying to set the car up, what tyres you're going to run, how are you going to take it, and the different 11 different asphalts
yep.
and levels of grip around the old Nordschleife section. It's an incredible challenge.
And in a lot of ways, the leader is the worst placed if the weather changes, because you're the first guy to get to that wet patch and find out, oh my God, there's not enough grip. And so maybe for Hugo Vallant, having Jose Maria Lopez in front of him, if the weather changes, you know, it's that little window of opportunity. But I'm sure he'd prefer to lead from the front, as he said.
If you're, I mean, these TC1 cars, they are reliant on aero, so it's always easier to get fresh air, virgin air into your car, into the front, not get any dirty air. But for sure, the guys running in, sort of Volant, and the guys 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they've got a target. They've got to focus up ahead, which they can do. And limited track time.
Yep.
We're talking about qualifying 2, 3 laps maximum. Free practice, in testing, they're managing 4 laps total. Yeah. So it's minimal lap times that lap experience they're getting around here, and the commitment required at the speeds they're going is absolutely massive.
Yeah, I mean, it is everywhere, but here there is no safety net. And this really is high wire walking par excellence. Jose Maria Lopez, pretty much as he has been since the day he arrived in this championship, is the man they have to catch. And there's his fiancée giving him a little bit of a good luck charm to carry with him. 3 laps he has to stay in front. 3 times, there's our TV compound, 3 times he has to be in front enough as they come out of Dottingerhöhe and down the long back straight to this Grand Prix circuit, to make sure that nobody can slipstream past him. If you've ever watched on YouTube a slipstreamer at Monza in the old days, that's exactly what he fears. You don't want to be first with a pack on your tail. Lopez, Vallant, Loeb and Michelis will lead the field away here at the Nürburgring. 3 laps of the track for race 7 and 3 laps of the track for race 8 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. And who from the mid-pack will be able to come through? They have a slightly different run around the Grand Prix circuit, so they wriggle left and right immediately at the bottom of the hill. Whose car experience, whose track experience is going to come to the fore? Whatever else, we're going to get sensational images from the track cameras, from the helicams and from the onboards of what is a unique challenge for every driver in the FIA World Touring Car Championship. In the shadow of Schloss Nürburg, the world's greatest racetrack awaits them. Onboard view of Tom Coronel, looking fairly relaxed around this modern Grand Prix circuit. Opened in 1987, and famously the opening race featured a whole host of legendary drivers from the history of the Nürburgring and then Grand Prix drivers.
WTCC fans here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Yeah, it's something exciting for us as touring car drivers because there's no circuit on planet Earth like this. As you see, I'm waiting a lot. It's just for heating up the tires. It's quite a long track, more than 175 corners, but they're all professionals, so now they know the track quite well. Everybody practiced here a lot. Everybody did some VLN races, and as me, I'm doing also with Zach Speed, with the Mercedes SLS, and I did quite a lot of laps here. Yeah, the unique thing on a circuit like this is it's very long and very bumpy. And the bumpy part, which is here on the left where we go to the Nordschleife, that is so special for a race driver. You love it, you just love it. There's no better drug than this for a race car driver. Well, we're just approaching the start. I heat up some front tires, as you hear, yeah, and get prepared. So I hope we give you a good show. Stay with us, because for us it's exciting. I hope for you as well.
Thank you, Tommy. Enjoy the race. And as they say here, viel Spaß, have fun. Because, boy, this is going to be a very entertaining adventure for the FIA World Touring Car Championship. The grid is complete at the Nürburgring in Germany. Race 7 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. The lights are on, away we go. On the right is your poleman. Very quick start from Norbert Michelisz. Contact with Hugo Vallant, the man on the outside of the front row of the grid. Lopez leads. Loeb is going to go around Michelisz. Vallant looking to the inside. It's a tight right-left flip into the first corner. There's a wall dead ahead that you must avoid, and the Citroens are forcing their way through. Vallant gets shoved off sideways. Tom Coronel had contact in the pack, and he will be last onto the Grand Prix circuit. It's Lopez from Loeb, from Muller, Michelisz with Mar and Tarquini and Bernani. A very good start from Bernani from 12th place on the grid. He came bunched up around the outside into the first right-hander, which became the inside for the left, and Vallant is down in about 12th position. Coronel last.
Absolutely rotten luck for Michelisz there. He made a blinding start going up the inside. Vallant just saw him, decided to turn right and straight into him and compromise the pair of them. I think they'd have both got away in sort of second and third places, but as it is, they handed it to Citroen on a plate the first couple of corners.
Well, Hugo Vallant said he was hoping for a better start than the last time. In fact, he had a much worse one. He didn't get away well on the formation lap. He needs more starting practice to bring that confidence in. So Lopez leads, Loeb and Muller second and third, which is exactly what Lopez did not want. Sabine Schmitz in front of Hugo Vallant. That is about the battle for 10th, 11th, 12th place.
Oh, Coronel's.
Coronel has got Van Lagen's Lada behind, so two yellow cars heading up from the Shell Oils hairpin. And you've got to worry now on the long Nordschleife with contact from Michelisz and Vallant, and somebody else hit Vallant in the second corner. The Frenchman has got to be very cautious. He's going on inside of Sabine Schmitz. So too is Tom Chilton. Chilton has contact with Vallant. That might not be the first time they've got together. It's turning into a real crash fest at the back. The leaders have broken away, and Norby is going with them. So three Citroens, 1, 2, 3, and Michelisz in 4th place. Then in 5th place, that is the Honda of Thiago Monteiro ahead of Qinghua Ma. Didn't see where Gabriele Tarquini got to. It's going to be a long time before we get split times around the lap.
No, I think that's Tarquini back in 7th.
Was it Tarquini in front?
Monteiro behind him, yeah.
So Lopez doing what he knew he needed to do, which is trying to jump away at the start. And Tom Coronel has called it a day. He's come around the Grand Prix loop and straight into the pit lane. Broken car, he doesn't even get out onto the Nordschleife. They jump at Flugplatz.
The interesting thing here is if The Ladas in free practice and qualifying have been super, super fast. Great speed, top speed of any car down the main straight. So if they can get on the move, get on the back of these and get some good slipstreaming, with a bit of luck, we can see them move forward.
Around Arenberg and down this huge plummet into the foxhole. Further back, Jaap van Lagen on the attack. He's already disposed of Tom Coronel. Now he's charging after the Chevy of Grégoire de Moustier. And Matt, this is real heart-in-your-mouth descent here, because you're absolutely attacking with every ounce of speed you've got.
Yeah, we just exited Berwerk. This is down into the foxhole. Car goes into full compression. The driver will submarine into the seat at the top into a section of S-bends here.
This is the Adenauer Forest section. Tight and twisty, sweeping from one side to the other, and Van Lagen clearly with more speed, but you try and find a way past here. It's all but impossible. And then they come to the next descent.
Oh, looks like we got Huffy out as well.
Yeah, Huffy has also come straight back into the pits. Now he had an engine change after a flywheel and clutch failure in qualifying. He didn't go out in the morning warm-up and has not started the race effectively. He and Tom Coronel both in the pits.
A long descent down now, down through Metzgerfeld and Cullenhard, but it's very difficult to overtake down this section.
Plunging again downhill through the hills and valleys of the Eifel Mountains. And again, look at all the fans camped around the circuit. Some massive camping grounds here. Dropping way down to the lowest point, Breitscheid, and then starting the climb back up, Exmuller, and this long run up. So this is down into Breitscheid. The road goes under the track just there, and that is the lowest point on the track. From here, we start to climb, and this is, Matt, very steep, as steep as the exit of Eau Rouge out at Spa.
Absolutely, and we've got Van Lagen, who's an absolute master. He knows the ring like the back of his hand. De Moustier in front of us is a newbie, so it's new territory for him. He's got a limited amount of laps on here, so he's still going to be feeling his way around tentatively.
Jose Maria Lopez, the race leader. Sebastian Loeb giving chase, but where's Yvan Muller? Muller was much closer to Loeb than this earlier on, and he's just in shot, so Muller is losing a little ground. Lopez needs to be a good 2 seconds in front when they get to the end of the lap and the long straight. Norbert Mikelitz is with them, and closing in further up is the 5th place car, Qinghua Ma. On board with Jaap van Lagen, chasing. This is the battle for 13th. He's got to run on Grégoire de Moustier, and he's got the speed to go by. The Lada, the fastest car down the back straight.
All the way around the outside as well. And in front as they go around into Wipperman.
He has confidence, he knows where he's going, and he's got the speed in the car. Rob Huff must be ruining the problems he's having here, because he loves racing on this track and he believes that the Lada's got real potential here. Dropping into the legendary carousel, much rougher than you would think, and Van Lagen pops out. There is Lopez and Loeb, your lead pair, and the gap between them, Matt, is about a second.
The one good thing is Michelitz is staying in contact with that lead trio of Citroën. So if we get onto the straight and he can start putting up some slipstreams, he could maybe put him under a wee bit of pressure as we get back onto the Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah, through the dips at Wipperman, and then Eschbach over the brow, Brunchen, and off down to Flansgarten. This is a very complex section. Almost every corner has a blind turn in, or it's over a blind brow. Cars drifting around the corner, slipping and sliding despite all their aerodynamics. And Matt, all of that painted graffiti on the road certainly changes the grip level as soon as the weather changes.
Absolutely, they can't clean it off, so it's just down to tyre wear and weather to try and get rid of it. But we actually saw on the Grand Prix circuit there was a sort of lack of fans, but that's because they're all out spread in 26 kilometres of woods, and they are there in the tens of thousands.
Yes, they are. And you can smell them as you go by. The barbecues are going constantly from early in morning till late at night, as is the music and the air horns and the odd beer, obviously.
It's a fantastic atmosphere out there. Absolutely fantastic. Best I've ever seen.
Through Flansgarten and up to the small carousel.
Valente definitely putting on the pressure now.
Yeah, Thiago Monteiro This is the battle for 8th place, I believe. There's the mini carousel, Tom Chilton right behind. You can see, I think it's Stefano D'Aste in front of them. So D'Aste managed to elude most of the banging and crashing in the first corner.
Valant's going to be ruining that first few corner.
Now,
he was just sort of too excited.
Here comes the slipstream. This is out of Dottingerhöhe. This is a mile-long straight, and Montero is just being reeled in. He's dead in the water. Valant's got the overlap and goes by. But like up the Kemmel straight, Matt, if the Honda tucks back in, it will pick up speed. But look at Chilton coming from behind. He's going to come by Montero any moment.
Chilton's getting a double stream.
Yes, he is.
Into
Flat
the Tiergarten.
out through the left-hander at Antonius Buscher, into the Tiergarten, and then very hard on the brakes. Is Chilton there? Has he got enough room? As they get into Hohenrhein, he didn't get by Montero.
Speedy was closing then. I thought he was going to be through, but they obviously just ran out of road as they're moving into the Tiergarten.
Well, Lopez stayed in front of Loeb and Muller. Mikulits in 4th has been caught by the Honda of Tarquini and the Citroën of Mar, and they've been slipstreaming together. Then Benani, and then this battle, Stefano D'Aste ahead of Valant, Montero and Chilton. Spots of rain on the track. I'm not sure where, whether they're in the pit lane or elsewhere. Nothing on our window, but then it leans inwards, so there wouldn't be.
Yeah, we have got a report of rain somewhere on the track, but the drivers are probably getting a similar message that there's rain somewhere, but they're not too sure where.
I imagine that'll be coming from Ben in the pit lane, actually, as much as from any of our camera guys out around the track.
The Grand Prix circuit provides a higher level of grip. It's a modern, much more on asphalt.
Vallant drifts out wide. Is it a little slippery down at the Shell Oils hairpin? Thiago Montero seizes the opportunity to go back past. So Montero retakes 9th, and Vallant taking too much curb, and that's gone, and it's not coming back, and he's in the barriers. Well, broken right rear suspension, possibly broken right front suspension as well. And Matt, of all the places to go off, the Grand Prix circuit is a tough enough track when you get it this wrong.
Look, so he just took too much curb on the inside. Yeah. Obviously wet, but maybe a bit damp. Big mistake after all the promise he showed in qualifying.
Philippe de Corsac looking very disappointed, and so too will be Hugo Vallant. Well, now he's got to try and creep the car back to the pit lane, give the team as long as possible to fix it. No, don't abandon it there, drive it back. There's not much repair time when you've got that much damage. There is water in the air as well. The helicopter, I'm not sure where it's picked it up, but it's Lopez kicking up the dirt on the inside. Yeah.
Now it's going to be tricky for the lead guys.
Now they're already through Hockenheim.
Michelitz seems like the second group is now closing in on the lead group.
Yeah, a little bit. Stefano D'Aste in with them. There is Montero. Chilton briefly held up, I think, by the moment in front of him. Slippery surface flags means there is rain here as they leap over Flugplatz. Well, what you don't want is a track with variable grip when you're on slicks, Matt, because you're going to get somewhere and suddenly find that you've arrived there at the same speed last lap perfectly safely. This lap, it's too quick for the conditions.
These lead cars are going to be having to drive defensively, but then that's going to allow the others to close up on them. So it's almost a question of who blinks first. Also, they are really reliant on the brake bias being absolutely perfect. As it gets wetter, you have to wind more bias to the rear to utilize more of the rear brakes. Just make sure. Oh, Van Lagen going for a move.
On the attack down into Arenberg. He dives by and gets safely by Grégoire de Moustier. His next target is Sabine Schmitz, who has even more experience on this Nordschleife than Jaap Van Lagen does. Van Lagen raced for Lada last, I'm guessing 6 years ago maybe, but he does have front-wheel drive touring car experience. Nothing like the downforce and grip that these cars now generate. Nothing like the torque, and Sabine Schmitz runs out wide. Yeah, Beginning of the Adenauer Forest Complex, and Van Lagen is all over, and you sense there might be moisture on the track there as well, though we're not seeing it on his onboard camera.
I was just about to say, these tricky conditions should play to Sabine Schmidt's local knowledge, but yeah, they're all getting caught out just of the brakes. They do need to adjust them, and maybe her lack of knowledge of the car might just hinder a little bit in that area.
Well, Van Lagen is smelling blood in the water as he catches every car, isn't he? He's really pushing hard. It's going to be tough to get by before we get to Bergwerk, I should have thought. And he's going to have a look. He's closing in with every corner. And Sabine will be concentrating 100% on the road in front. Let the guy behind sit on your bumper and try and find a way by.
Remember, no ABS, no traction control. These guys, if they make a little mistake, snag a wheel, then they are going off.
Yep. Dropping down the hill. This is very close to her home. She lives just a mile or so away from the corner here at Breitscheid. And again, see her struggling for traction. Van Lagen's engine note sounded very consistent there. Clearly the electronics working well on the Lada. And you can see how Schmidt's car was binking around at the back. Yeah. Yap is going to be by before the end of the lap, I think. Sabine Schmidt is struggling with the rear end of the car. She's so used to driving very powerful rear drive cars that sit at the back and do what they're told. This does an entirely different thing. On the right-hand side, you see your race leader, Jose Maria Lopez. Still water on the helicam. I'm not sure how damp it is where. Too far from the fans to see whether umbrellas are up. I'm not sure they bring umbrellas here. They basically, if it rains, they just have more beer and light more fires, don't they?
They got some pretty good setups, Martin. Yeah, you go out there.
They certainly have. Some of them are bigger than my house.
Looks like Michelitz is putting Muller under a fair bit of pressure there into the carousel. He's definitely right back with him.
Not far away behind them, Sabine Schmidt continues to come under assault from Jaap Van Lagen. Van Lagen with the bit between his teeth. The team are hoping he'll be able to race for them in Moscow as well, and maybe for the rest of the season. And certainly this has been a very welcome return to the team for Jaap Van Lagen. He'll know some of the Russian mechanics from his time with the Lada team before, when it was run by Viktor Shapovalov and the Russian Bears team. Now out of the carousel, through Hoa Acht and the jump at Hedvigshöhe. Now he's having a little look as they start to come down towards Wipperman. And there are overtaking opportunities, but only if the car in front is quite a lot slower here, Matt. This is really apex to apex stuff, single line racing.
Yeah, he might have to follow through this section. Then the Lada is very, very strong on the straight, as we said. The Chevys have had an engine upgrade, but Schmidt is one of the unlucky ones who isn't running it this weekend. So he should, with the slipstream, she should be easy meat when they get to the main straight.
I'm not sure he's waiting that long. Down into Flansgarten.
It'd be good when if and when he can get past, give him some clear air. We can see what pace he's got in him.
Unfortunately, when there are 3 laps and you spend one of them stuck behind somebody, or at least half of it stuck behind somebody, you're losing time all the way round to the leaders. Leaders lapping some 15, 17 seconds a lap quicker. That means he's lost half a minute already to Jose Maria Lopez on the right-hand side, your race leader. Lopez out of the Kleiners carousel, and he's going to sweep round the right at Hangman's Hill. Look at the speed here. Van Lagen inches off Sabine Schmidt's back bumper. And already Jose Maria Lopez out of Döttinger and along the back straight. Van Lagen
coming up on the mini carousel here.
Oh, and again, she's a little late in under braking. The back end wasn't really doing what she wanted.
He's certainly watching the mirrors as well as watching the road in front.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't want to be caught out trying to turn in somewhere, fully committed to find that Van Lagen's alongside.
Carrying good speed through this section of corners is absolutely critical, because then you're coming on to the main straight.
And here we go. There's Jose Maria Lopez coming towards the end of it. He's come under the main road bridge and flying up into Hohenrhein, down towards the Grand Prix circuit, and Michelitz with the Honda and the Citroen behind. That's Gabriele Tarquini and Qinghua Ma. Desperately deep under braking there, Tarquini trying to get in contact. Lopez leads. Loeb in second, Muller in third, Lopez by 3 seconds, Muller in third place, 3.28 behind, and Tarquini down the inside, more in defence against Ma than attacking, and he holds off the Chinese driver into this little first right-left wriggle.
Yeah, from our camera angle, I thought Tarquini was going for Michelitz, but he was just preempting the strike from Ma behind.
Well, what's happened with Jaap van Lagen? He is behind Sabine Schmitz. Montero's in the pits,
Puncture.
left front puncture. Where is van Lagen and Schmitz? Having watched that battle for almost the entire lap, we then meander away from it. Here we go. Could have done with a look at that down the straight. Somehow Sabine Schmitz has kept her nose in front. The Lada is the quickest car down the straight, but Sabine managed to somehow eke out something from Dottinger down to Hohenrhein and stay in front. We're down at the Shell Oils hairpin on the Grand Prix circuit. You're going to have to be pretty committed to get by Sabine Schmitz on her home track. Lap 2 completed. We're on lap 3, the final lap of race 1 here at the Nordschleife.
Just got to be careful going up here. This is where, approaching the section where Valentes went off and parked.
Yep, so dirt and gravel everywhere here. Jaap van Lagen chases Sabine Schmitz up, and as they swing left onto the full Nordschleife, you can see how much of a tight double left-handed corner it is as you then drop down into the Hatzenbach, starting this 25, or continuing the 25-kilometre lap. And you can see the roads twisting and turning around the valleys here, very similar in nature to this Nordschleife circuit. You just don't go quite as quickly, not even remotely as quickly.
Well, Martin, with Montero in the pits now and the other early casualties we've had, you might get your prediction of seeing Sabine Schmitz into the top 10.
Yeah,
sneak into the top 10.
Right, I thought she would probably have the potential to do so. Her disadvantage here, though, is she's basically driving a car that's back to front compared to what she's used to. She's got Jaap van Lagen all over the back of her, and Grégoire de Moustier as well. The young man.
Is that Jean-Philippe, actually?
No, it's oh, it is Philippe, I beg your pardon, yes.
Van Lagen's definitely on the attack now, though.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. And Coronel's in the pits as well. We're in and out, so he's gone back out and come back in. And there you can see tape holding the bits and pieces together. These cars now, we were saying this morning, you just cannot make any contact in the cars. They're so aero-dependent and they damage so easily. The old days of all metal wings and being able to rub metal, those are long gone.
This section is incredibly fast.
This is 160 miles an hour through the countryside on what would barely pass as a B road in the UK. It's looking to the inside into Arnberg and didn't quite have enough of a run. He could have stuck his nose in further, but that would have resulted in them both going off. And there's no mileage in that.
Down the foxhole, absolutely flat to the boards, no lift through here.
Matt, when you're driving this in a road car, you know, your first time round, you're just desperately willing yourself to hold the throttle down, but too terrified to do it. The speed comes at you so fast there.
It's the way the cars are in compression. The Chevrolets were struggling with the jumps through the circuit and the bottoming out in the compressions, like at the bottom of Foxhole. They were crashing out too hard and they've been damaging the cars because they are quite fragile pieces of equipment. So the Citroen's obviously built like a rally car, as you were saying earlier. It's a modular, they've built it, been crashing into each other to test it, and
I think you're exactly right. I mean, they built it tough like a rally car. They built it to be serviced quickly and repaired quickly like a rally car. And they've hired a rally driver and a rally team to run them. And yet, Jose Maria Lopez, who perhaps might have been one of the world's great tarmac rally champions, had he not turned into a single-seater racing driver early in his life, is the man who is making best use of it. And he leads comfortably from his teammates Sebastian Loeb and Ivan Muller.
To put it into context, how fast these TC1 WTCC cars are going, they would be in the top 20 of the main grid for the 24-hour race with all the 600 horsepower GT3 Aston Martins, Bentleys and everything. So the speed these cars are carrying through the corners is immense.
Yes, without the safety nets of the ABS, the traction control and everything else. So they're doing, these cars are, if they haven't got eyes like saucers at the end of the lap, then I don't know quite what's going on with them. Looking at Norbert Michelisz and Gabriele Tarquini, 4th and 5th. Then Qinghua Ma, the multicoloured car of that trio behind is Mehdi Benani, and the black one, Stefano D'Aste. That's 6th, 7th and 8th. 9th, Tom Chilton. And in 10th place onto the lap, Sabine Schmitz. There is the number 2 car. I beg your pardon, there is the number 37 car of Jose Maria Lopez ahead of Sebastian Loeb.
Looks like Michelisz and Tarquini have shaken off Marn.
Yep.
Just a fraction now just to give themselves some clear air, or maybe that's going to allow Tarquini to focus on Michelisz for maybe one last push down the long straight.
Well, Norby is not far enough in front of Gabriele for dotting a her, is he? When he comes onto the straight, Gabriele will just hoover him up. So Norby has got to find something in the next 20 kilometres, because the last 2 kilometres are going to be hell on earth otherwise. Jose Maria Lopez, Sebastian Loeb, and then Ivan Muller through Wippermann. Climbing through Eschbach and up to the double right at Brunchen.
The graffiti thing on the circuit is quite a recent thing. It's only the last 10 years, isn't it, that it's really sort of gone mad?
It's especially, yeah, I mean, now especially.
15 years ago, it wasn't anything like this, and then it's suddenly sort of got to be almost a craze.
Yeah. And there's more and more and less tarmac visible every year. On board with Gabriele Tarquini, chasing hard.
Yeah, it's great going in car with Gabriele. You can see how hard he's having to work in there. Oh,
and you could hear, we were on board in the first, that's the first jump there at Flansgarten, but even before you got that, you heard Gabriele's wheels clear the ground as the revs rise, as you momentarily lose traction. There's the second jump in Flansgarten. And Ma has now shaken off Benani, and he's trying to close as they close in on Muller. Muller is suddenly very much more in Mehdi Benani's sights. So what's going on with Ivan Muller? Through the mini carousel, and they are closing hand over fist on the Frenchman. This is really dangerous for Muller as they go through the right at Galgenkopf, then dotting a her and the straight down to the finish line, basically.
Has Muller got a tyre issue? Obviously, like Montero had one. It's
Lopez.
Very easy to pick up a punch around there.
Let's not watch the leader. Let's not worry about where he is, because there's a battle for the podium coming up behind. Jose Maria Lopez leads the race. This is Norbert Michelisz and Gabriele Tarquini. They are closing on Ivan Muller into the closing stages of the lap. They're less than 2 kilometres from the flag. Jose Maria Lopez into the braking area for Hohenrhein for the final time. Behind him in second place is Sebastian Loeb. Lopez is going to win going away. Loeb in second place. But what about Ivan Muller, Norbert Michelisz and Gabriele Tarquini? Where are they going to end up? Victory in this historic race on the Nordschleife. It goes to poleman Jose Maria Lopez. Sebastian Loeb will take second. Muller shakes them off at the end for third place. Norbert Michelisz couldn't get close, but here Gabriele Tarquini has been passed by Qinghua Ma for fifth. So Lopez wins again. Well, again, the camera didn't quite show us the bit that was entertaining at the end of that. I wonder what's happening further back for 10th place. Tom Chilton is across the line. Sabine Schmitz and Jaap van Lagen should be coming towards us. And it is Schmitz who crosses the line in 10th, Van Lagen 11th, John Philippi in 12th spot. Well, if I'd had a pound on that, I'd be a pound better off now. And there's Grégoire de Moustier, who comes across the line in 13th spot. Tiago Montero in the pits, Tom Coronel in the pits, Rob Huff in the pits, Hugo Vallon's car at the side of the track. And Jose Maria Lopez does it yet again.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't see the final furore between Tarquini and Ma, but 4 Citroens in the top 5, it's quite a dominant statement again from them. And Lopez, business as usual, isn't it?
Well, I said before the start, if they didn't have all 5 Citroens in the top 5, they'd been doing something wrong. But Banani made a good start and then through no fault of his own got clattered off. Mar got bounced out a bit as well. So in the end, I think they did a pretty good job. But the best job of all by Jose Maria Lopez. A very happy Citroen team, a very happy Jose Maria Lopez. Top 3 in race 1 from Citroen. Lopez, Loeb and Muller. Norbert Mikulitz 4th place, the best of the rest in his Zengo Motorsport Honda. And then Qinghua Ma in his factory Citroen getting by Gabriele Tarquini on the run to the final corner on lap 3 here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. It's been a while since we've had World Touring Car races in Germany. Oschersleben was a familiar location for a number of years, but this, Neil, this place is something entirely different. This is, like Derek Bell said, if you win here, you know, man, you're damn good. Well, this boy is damn good.
Another scary little stat, you know, by Pachito winning this first race here at the ring, that means he's won every race won so far this season. That's quite a statement, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Some very happy Argentines. And down there is Alex Legui, so we'll hear from Jose Maria Lopez just as soon as we can get his helmet off him.
There we have it. Pachito Lopez, you are the winner of race 1 here at the Nürburgring. Congratulations, what a race.
Fantastic. I mean, I felt very good. The car was great. Thanks to the team, as I always say, but I will never get tired to say it. Thanks Citroen for the opportunity to, for us, you know, to be this competitive, because the car is fantastic. Then I think I've been able to feel very, very confident here, and I really enjoyed the race because I was driving like in a tunnel through the hills, and it's an amazing circuit. Honestly, I think it's something I wanted.
And you've gone through all of that, and now you're just about to get back in the car and ready for race 2. What's going through your head?
I would like to be in the podium, honestly, but this is the way it is. Now we have to get ready, speak with engineers, try to do a completely different race from the back. Trying to arrive, think on the championship. I think the most important is done. I hope I can go through the field safely and trying to get some points and pull out a little bit more in the championship.
I have no doubt. Pachito, well done.
Well, you know, for other days, it's all about the championship, it's all about the points, and of course, you need to think about that at every race. But Matt, you know, he's going to go away from here going, I raced on the Nürburgring and I won it in a World Touring Car Championship race, and there's only one person so far in history that's been able to say that.
He's been so ultra fast all weekend and super smooth, no mistakes, touch wood so far. You know, it's going to be, Loeb and Muller are going to be starting in front of him on the grid, and they're going to want to put him under pressure, and they're going to want to make him work for every inch. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great race 2 here at the Nordschleife. Well, looking down at the pits, let's hear from Sebastian Loeb.
P2 then was Sebastian Loeb, and the first corner very close between you guys. History's been made here, Sebastian. How was it for you?
It has been a good race. I would say I took a good start. I started third and I was second after the 2 first corners, so that was not bad. I had Pachito in front. We know since the start of the weekend that he's very fast. I tried to push behind, but finally it was impossible to attack. Then I had quite a good gap. I tried to stay really concentrated because it's very tricky here. We had some drop of rain in some places, so it was important to stay a bit careful, and finally I did a clean race.
Were you able to see what Pachito is doing to have that little edge over you guys to learn for race 2?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. Thanks very much, Sebastian.
Thank you.
Shattering honesty. Nope, I got no clue how he's doing what he's doing, which is slightly disheartening. Earlier on in the weekend, he was comparing this to a rally stage, and Matt, you know, when you watch the drivers on board, it really looks like it. You know, he grew up with tarmac rallying. He knows exactly what he's on about. Narrow, bumpy lanes, sinuous tarmac. But even with all that, he still can't work out how to go better than...
Now he knows what it's like to have the shoe on the other foot when they're saying to the other rally drivers over the last 10 or 12 years, how is Loeb doing that? No idea at all.
Yeah.
He's just fast.
Yeah. It's that Senna thing, isn't it? You know, drivers would look at him, and Villeneuve as well, you know, drivers would look at him, Gilles, that is, and just go,
I think it's,
you know, he's the same as us, but he's doing something different.
John Watson was interviewed about Senna, and he just said he made